talked a little bit about this. Here's your gluteus maximus back here. Here's your tensor fasciolatus. So see, it's just a tiny little slip of muscle. Gluteus maximus actually attaches into this ITB as well. Okay, so if you've got gluteal weakness, that's going to change the pull on this from the posterior side. Does that make sense? And then it comes down and crosses the knee. So it's pretty wide. It finally tapers down into here and attaches below the knee. And so can you see how that's going to be a stabilizer? So it's important to have these muscles balanced, right? If you, like, y'all have had that tenderness when you're looking for that axis point to measure the knee, might be your iliotibial band where it attaches. Can you see that? Yikes! Okay. Let's see. Okay. So overuse injury causes lateral knee pain. Commonly we see it in runners and bicyclists. And part of it comes from repeated friction of the band sliding over the lateral femoral epicondyle during knee motion. So it's that repetitive knee motion. Okay. But the thing of it is, yeah. But the thing of it is the reason you get that friction is because either it's too tight or you've got an imbalance of the muscles pulling forward and pulling back. So it's not riding right where it should.
Why would they have put me on the bike then?
That's a good question. I think the theory behind that is to rest it, actively rest it,
Yeah.
to actively rest it.
Okay.
Because that's one of the new things in exercise now is sort of active resting. So you do something different that still works it, but at a lower level. And so the difference between running and bike riding is running as a weight-bearing activity, whereas bike riding really is not. So you're still moving it, but you're taking the pressure of the weight bearing off of it. You know, I guess if you got it from biking, they'd make you run.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Time for the triathlon.
Yeah.
No, we'll put you in the pool first.
Yeah.
And then rest
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Are you tired yet?
Yeah. Okay, reversal of muscle function, and this is, we've discussed this concept before. I'm not going to pick on you too hard about it, but you just need to know that it exists. And so basically, typically we say the muscle moves from the origin, the insertion moves towards the origin. The insertion moves towards the origin. Occasionally the movement goes the other direction, okay? So that would be like if the distal segment was the femur becomes more stable than the proximal segment, which would be the hips. So that would be bending forward at the hips versus bringing your leg up to your body. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about reversal of muscle action. And again, it's not something that I'm really going to, I feel like those birds. I'll be at the comedy club later. Would you please come so I feel good about it?
Yeah, I will.
Huh? Yeah, you wouldn't laugh very much with what I can pay you.
Yeah, extra credit. I'll be there.
Okay, so how that might play out in the whole sort of hip pelvis thing is if you've got muscle weakness, somebody could develop what they call a Trendelenburg gait. So like if you've got weak right hip abductors and you stand on the right, so if these are weak, you stand on the right, the left side, instead of holding yourself up, you fall down. And I think that's where that waddly gait comes from, is having these weak muscles, and so you don't stabilize, you sink. Because they're not holding them where they need to be. Okay. So here's sort of a picture of how that happens. And again, you know, as OTs, you need to be aware of how posture and strength affect